This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
This episode is brought to you by ExpressVPN.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday. With me, as always, is my co-host, Nick Mason.
I noticed a little crack in your voice there, James. I think it was probably
emotional.
Emotional because of your child or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah?
yep, that's why.
That's right.
I mean, it's a lot of things, you know what I mean? Because what kind of world are our children going to be living in 40 years from now? A bad one, it looks like.
Oh,
That's
no.
how everything's shaping up. What do you think?
I think maybe we should start positive with
I
some
agree.
deaths.
But yes, well, before we get to the deaths, I genuinely think that the generation below us,
Yes.
and some of our generation, because our generation is kind of a nothing generation. We're stuck we're under the heel of the boomers.
Go on.
But by the time they're gone, the next generation will come up and they'll be taking charge,
Oh, yeah.
right? So we'll be kind of this middle of nowhere kind of nothing generation, which I'm okay with, quite frankly.
You've got podcasts to make.
That's right, but I genuinely believe in having my interactions with the youth when I was a teacher,
Yes.
and just seeing activity online. I think they're more socially conscious and empathetic and more aware of kind of things that affect them and affect the world. So I actually do think things will get better as long as the generation above us die quickly.
And they get a steady diet of red hot comic book movie news, right?
It's a number of factors, and this is certainly a
The
big
number one
pie
factor.
of the thing that I'm
Big
talking
segment
about.
of the
If
pie,
it's a
yeah.
graph or a literal pie, whatever.
Exactly. If there's a Venn diagram of like in the middle bit is world leaders,
Yeah.
inspiring and making a positive difference to the world, one of the circles
Yep.
is probably like, you know, education and healthcare
Yes.
and you know, upbringing and that sort of thing. But the other circle,
Iron levels.
which is a kind of a bigger circle,
Yeah.
if I may say so myself, it's the Weekly Planet podcast.
Yes, absolutely.
I would say like comic book movie news in general,
Yeah.
but that's not enough.
Yeah, you're right.
you
It
know?
has to be specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Because you want that kind of intense dose, don't
Yeah,
you? And this
yeah.
is how you do it.
Because, I mean, you know, Obama grew up on just general comic book movie news.
Sure, yeah.
And that's fine, but, you know, all those drone
Not
strikes.
enough.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know?
You did some bad things.
Bad things. Yeah, bailed out the banks. Probably shouldn't have done that. Probably because he was listening to, quick, what's another movie podcast we can throw under the bus?
The dollop? Is that
No.
That's
Not even
Total
close.
Reboot.
There we go.
Got him.
Got him.
That great podcast. Yeah. But also, speaking of generations, that doesn't mean if you're in this generation or another generation,
Oh, we're
give
still
up.
doing this.
Still do things. You know what I mean?
No, I meant we're still doing this. We're still in this.
Still in
rant.
this. It's not a
Okay,
riff.
great.
I'm serious.
Okay, great.
Anyway,
Terrific.
people died this
They
week.
did. A lot of people died.
Yeah.
The great Fred Willard,
Fred Willard, that's right.
who people might know from
Best in Show.
Best in Show, A Mighty Wind.
Anchorman.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Raymond.
If you don't recognize him,
I do.
well, you do. But
Yeah.
if you can't quite place him, he's sort of a genial old man who says the dumbest things with the utmost confidence.
Yes.
That's kind of his not his shtick, but
Like
he's
everyone's dad.
He's kind of, exactly. And he's kind of like, he's been in so many things, and he's one of those guys that everybody has a good word,
Yes.
you know, for. Like, nobody's like, oh, what a mean. He's always like, you know, I met him on a set, and he said the absolute nicest things, and he was so funny. And, you know, people are like, they'll be like, here's an iconic scene from a movie.
Yeah.
He did 10 takes and he said a different thing every take, and he never broke a sweat, and
Yep.
he just kept being funny kind of
Yes,
thing.
absolutely.
If you want a good entry point, if you've seen A Mighty Wind, he plays a sort of a blonde tipped manager kind of character who had a sitcom back in the 70s, and who's full of catchphrases like, what happened? And I didn't do my work. And he's just kind of this.
I've never seen A
this
Mighty
catchphrase.
Wind.
It's really good. He's kind of this catchphrase machine. This is from a comedian on Twitter called Dan Telfer.
Right.
It says, I met Fred Willard backstage at a TV show. He said to me, Dan, let me teach you something I learned in showbiz. I'm going to throw my shoe at you, and if you can catch it in time, you can keep it. Not now, when you least expect it. Be ready. Then he walked away, and I never saw him again. So he was kind of this guy who was just like relentlessly like he wasn't there to be like, I'm going to be funny for an audience, or I'm going to be funny.
Yeah.
He was just like, I'm going to make, if I'm making one person happy
Yes.
that day, then I'll do that.
That's great. That's kind of like how Robin Williams conducted himself
Yeah,
as well.
so-
Yeah. Oh, that's terrific.
Yeah. He also was caught in a porno theater once.
Yes, there was that situation.
At the age of 78.
78, wow.
And he was like...
I mean, weird,
Yeah.
but not illegal.
No,
I mean,
that's
I guess
true.
it is illegal
Yeah.
because he was arrested.
and everybody was just like, just let him have this one. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's...
Yeah. He doesn't understand the internet,
That's true,
it turns
yeah.
out. Yeah. Lynn Shelton also died, 54.
Yeah, director.
That's right. She did episodes of Mad Men, Mindy Project, Shameless, Marin, Glow, to name a few.
And something people may know, she was Mark Maron's partner for like the last year.
Yes.
Because they met on Glow. And then, she's done a bunch of... I haven't seen a lot of her work.
You probably have, though, like more than you think.
Glow
Yeah,
certainly a Mad Men and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But like she's done... I mean, we've often talked on this podcast about like, you know, there's not a lot of kind of low budget indie films, just people, you know, making good
Yes.
films because there's no blockbuster budget and there's no blockbuster return to it.
I think that's changing with streaming, but yeah, I don't disagree with that.
She did a film, I haven't seen it, but I know, speaking of Total Reboot, Alexis from Total Reboot loves Hump Day, which is a movie with Mark Duplass. It's about two...
He made a nice post as well, I saw, yeah.
It's about two friends who they're in a lot of competition and they're constantly at odds, and then it sort of ends up they have to make a gay porn film together. It's kind of a comedy drama situation. One movie I have seen is called Laggies. It's Keira Knightley and who is like she needs to take a break from being an adult.
Yes.
So she decides to shack up with some teenagers she bought beer for once.
I think I've seen Laggies.
And then, but then one of the teenagers' dads is Sam Rockwell, and so they fall in love. So that's
very
kind of
good.
a star-studded kind of situation. The movie I
cast.
haven't seen, that speaking of Mark Maron, he is also in it. I'm trying to track down because it looks very good. It's called Sword of Trust.
Yes.
And it's basically Maron plays a pawn shop owner who...
I'm just typing these in as you're doing this.
He owns a pawn shop, and two women come in and they have a sword which they claim is a memento of the South winning the American Civil War.
Right.
And then they discover there's a market for this kind of like fantasy world of people who believe that they collect all these artifacts
Yeah,
and they believe that the
right,
South
yeah.
won the war and the South will rise again and etc. And it's sort of
Yes.
like this character-driven comedy. And I think a lot of the movies I've seen of hers are kind of like, a lot of her movies aren't necessarily about like the plot, but it's more about like, it's just a world you want to live in, like
Yeah,
these
right.
quirky characters that you kind of enjoy. Laggies was certainly like that, I think. So,
Terrific. Okay. And of course, one more, Jerry Stiller, who people would know, father of Ben Stiller, but you would have
The
seen
comedy
him.
father of George from Seinfeld.
That's right,
In
exactly. I was
Seinfeld,
going to
yeah.
say Seinfeld, King of Queens, Zoolander. You've seen him, obviously.
Yeah.
An incredibly funny, talented human being.
Yeah.
Who had a really good innings, and like all of these people had a pretty good career, a really good career.
Yeah, I mean, Lynn Shelton, 54,
54.
I think.
That's
Yeah.
way too young, obviously.
young.
But yeah.
But all of these also are not, they're not coronavirus
I was going to say, they always have to specify that now, don't they?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Even if it's a car accident. It's like the car accident is non-coronavirus related. They weren't outrunning the virus.
No.
Yeah, so...
The virus took the wheel.
That's right.
The virus leapt up from the back seat, hit him in the back of the head.
That's it. So there you go. Anyway, sorry to get off to a downer there, but there's some stuff there that people might want to check out.
Yes.
This is, of course, also going to be an all-news episode as well, because I'm a bit
Yes.
pressed for time nowadays. Mason might stay and do an extra 40 minutes just by himself at the end. We'll see how we go, but I'm out of here.
Okay,
at a certain
cool, great.
point. So yeah,
All
that's
right,
off. I'm sure you prepared a topic that
Let's
you're
see
gonna,
how that goes.
You're going to riff on.
Well, I haven't normally. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, go on.
I'm going to dismantle your rant from the start of the episode, piece by piece. I'm ready to go. This is going to be my perfect debate scenario. You've left, so you can't rebut anything.
You could
So
call
that's
it
good.
Meso Destroys.
Oh, with facts and logic.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
That's right. What I do have here is because I have a note section in my phone. It says Weekly Planet Baby Week. For obviously,
Sure.
we wondered if you were going to be away this week or not, not necessarily. So I've just been putting bits of notes in here as they come up on
I had
the
to come
internet.
back for the ad.
This one I've written. Yeah, that's true. I remember waking up very early this morning and writing a note in there and going, this will be perfect for the podcast later today. And it says, verbatim, cancelled bed. So I don't know.
Do you think you're in like a half state?
Maybe.
Where you're like, I've nailed that, but you've
Yeah.
actually just written down the
Yeah.
thing that you were doing?
But I think I feel confident something got cancelled this week.
Yeah.
But instead of writing down cancelled, whatever it was,
You
maybe
just went
maybe
bed.
autocorrect took over, but maybe I got it. Maybe my brain went, well, that's bed cancelled, isn't it? But this one, I think we both read. Robert Pattinson was in this month's GQ magazine. There was an interview via Zoom.
Yeah, right.
And he made some waves in terms of just revelations about himself and revelations about his Batman training regimen or lack of it.
People got very upset about that.
How many cups of coffee he used to drink before GQ, before media interviews like this.
Cooking pasta.
Says 5,000 cups of coffee.
Yes.
It's probably
See, that's
too many.
the thing. He's a lot of this. I don't know how much of this to take seriously.
Well, he says here even literally, I like saying sort of provocative things in interviews because I thought it was funny. I get very, very uncomfortable about doing earnest things.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of this you really have to take tongue in cheek.
Yes.
But also the things
people
that
did not on the internet. Absolutely
well, I think
not.
a lot of people do get it though.
Yeah.
But I think also the thing with this guy is like he says he lies a lot about things and
Yes.
whatever. Because I remember
Yeah.
he told a magazine or something that went around the time of Twilight, he stopped showering so people wouldn't hug him or something like that, which is
right.
probably not true because I'm
Right,
sure well, maybe it is. I don't know.
And also, like Twilight fans, I don't want to make any unfair generalizations, but like if you're people who are huge fans of celebrities to the point that they will run at them and hug them,
Yeah.
they don't care if that celebrity stinks.
No, they don't.
There's no insane Twilight fan going, "Oh my god, it's Edward Cullen."
Yes.
right? just running at him and then stopping a couple of feet away, going, "Oh yuck."
No, thank you.
you.
Yeah,
They're just
you might think about it when you're walking away,
Yeah, yeah,
being
yeah.
like, you're smellier than I thought.
But then you'd be like, "Oh my god, I get to tell everybody
Now
what
I smell
Edward
like
Cullen
Edward
smells
Cullen."
like." Oh
Yeah.
my god, he smells like death, just like Edward Cullen
That's right,
probably
yeah.
would. The Vampire Man.
Anyway, I don't think any of the stuff that he generally does is really like mean-spirited. They're just like fun
No.
little dumb things. that he
Yeah, right,
said.
exactly.
But the Batman workout regimen, because he was talking about, wasn't it, how he's not really working out as much as he should?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
The film studio hired a trainer who left Pattinson with a Bosu ball. I don't know what that is. A single weight and a sincere plea to use both. But right now he says he's ignoring her. He says, here's the thing what he... And that's what set people off. People are like, how dare he's going to be Batman. He's got to be the buffest guy in the universe. But I feel like thus far there's really been no correlation necessarily between the success or quality of a Batman film. There hasn't been enough information to definitively say if your Batman actor is ripped, that's going to be a good Batman movie.
Look, and don't get me wrong, I think if you're in shape, you have to be in a shape
Yeah,
to be
right,
Batman.
Yeah,
Even if you are Michael Keaton, who's not really, he was just looked like a regular man.
Sure, yeah.
You have to...
They fixed that with angles and lighting.
Exactly,
I feel.
and a muscular suit.
Yeah.
I think there is certainly that aspect to the role, and Christian Bale and Ben Affleck did a lot of that to kind of take that
Yeah,
physicality.
right.
But at the same time, even if he's lying, which he might be lying,
Yes.
which I don't think it's the concern to me would be that he's not really doing a good job at the acting.
right,
That's what
right.
I'd be worried about.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't really bother me if he doesn't have crazy abs, because also they could CGI a lot of that.
Right.
A lot of Ben Affleck's workout stuff in the last Batman v Superman, it's in the dark, and I don't know.
right,
I think a lot of that is tweaked. I don't know whether that's a fact or not, but it's so like dimly lit. It doesn't.
yeah.
It doesn't actually really matter at this point, anyway.
That
if
is
he's
true.
telling the truth, which he probably isn't,
I mean,
or he is.
at a certain point, you cannot possibly. You can't. Here's the thing: you couldn't rule out that if the quarantine restrictions keep going,
Yeah.
you couldn't rule out the idea of just recording somebody's head. You just send a digital video camera to somebody's hotel room or whatever. You just film their head acting and then paste it on a completely CGI man.
Happens all the time.
You couldn't can't rule it out. I don't think they'll do it for this, but I think they might. There might be movies where they go, well, we'll release it VOD.
Yeah.
Let's just film it in a house and then CGI it over
Just
the top.
film Bruce Willis's head and then
Yes.
put him on literally anybody's
Yeah,
body.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's how Bruce Willis wants to make all these movies
Oh
anyway.
my God, that would be his dream. But he said,
to be in movies but not be in
Yeah,
movies,
that's
but not
right, yeah.
really be in movies. Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, he said here, but that's what he's saying. You set a precedent. No one was doing this in the 70s. Even James Dean, he wasn't exactly ripped, which is true. He was
That's not
he was
incorrect.
probably a barrel.
Yeah. But also things have changed, and like there
Yeah.
are certain expectations now. But at the same time, this isn't a concern of mine
No.
or yours maybe.
No.
I mean, if he takes his shirt off,
Yes.
which he might not even,
Right.
you want him to look like something. You know what I mean? You can't just have him just be like,
Not a block of butter.
no, a lot of block about or like really skinny arms and a little pot belly or whatever. You know what I mean? But they can fix that. I'm not really concerned because there needs to be some physicality to it. But again, whatever.
Yeah, and I think, you know, obviously you need to be a certain level of fitness, especially now that the suits are kind of, you know, heavy and covered in equipment
Can't
and
paint
whatever.
'em.
Can't paint them, exactly. You need bladder strength is what you need.
That's right. Yeah. I know I would if I was
Yeah.
Batman.
And I'm saying, you know, sometimes I'll just drive for 4 hours at a time. I'm just saying don't have to take a bath.
4 hours is nothing, mate.
I could do
That
8.
being said, I'm paying four times.
I reckon
a
I could
movie.
do 8. I reckon I've done 8 in the past.
You've done 8.
Yeah, I've done 8.
Well, that's pretty impressive.
Thank you.
Let's do an 8-hour podcast and see how you go.
let's do it. Now's
I mean,
the time
you're
for
going to
this
do it by
challenge.
yourself. I have to go, obviously. Okay, I got
cool.
a new
All right.
baby, but
All
you can
right,
do
good.
it. Yeah.
Pattinson called another actor on the film, Zoe Kravitz,
Yes.
the other day, and she said she was exercising 5 days a week during their exile from set. Pattinson, well, literally, I'm just barely doing anything, he says, sighing again. There's also a bit in it. There's also a bit in the article where he explains his pasta making regimen. He's got a recipe.
Doing a microwaved pasta.
But it's got sugar in it and cornflakes.
Yeah.
I think it was meant to be some sort of pasta bake situation.
Okay.
Like
yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, like you put your sauce or whatever and you put cheese and breadcrumbs
that's
on it. It's
like
like
very much like an 80s kind of
I love a pasta bake. Let me
with
tell
a
you.
cornflake in it.
No, that's ridiculous. You put breadcrumbs.
Put it on the top.
Yeah, but
Crunch-
anyway,
crunch that up.
it's just and it's just him going through it, and I picture him smoking and
Oh,
just
yeah.
being like, "Oh, I've ruined this."
Yeah.
What are you doing, mate? You're in a hotel as well. Just
Is he?
Yeah, he's in.
Oh, he's in England,
He's
is
in a
he?
hotel in London that they've set up for
Yeah.
the shoot or whatever with his girlfriend, I think, and.
Hmm.
It's ridiculous. Surely they're sending food up. Why is he doing this?
Because he's doing whatever he wants.
Maybe they're only sending up food that he. But then why would they send up sugar? Like I'm thinking maybe they're only.
He's
sending
ordering
up,
it. He could get what he
I guess
wants.
that's true. You're right.
Maybe he has a pigeon that brings him sugar.
Maybe he has a.
He's
a
trained
sugar
it. Would you
pigeon.
put it past him?
No.
Exactly.
All celebrities have a sugar pigeon. You probably got it in a gift bag.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
It's
sugar
one of those
pigeon. I mean,
fancy-
it's actually a cocaine pigeon.
Yeah,
but, you know,
it's nice.
But they can take sugar.
Yeah,
That's
they could-
fine.
Yeah. All they know is they look behind him and there's a little tube of white stuff.
Yep.
In white dust.
And they put it on their pasta bake.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Terrific news
That
on
is
the
terrific news. Thank you.
Robert Pattinson front.
Thank you.
Did you hear the Mandalorian news, season 2?
Timothy Oliphant.
Timothy
is gonna be-
Oliphant is going to make an appearance.
Yeah.
Justified's Own
That's
and other
right.
things. Katie Sackhoff is apparently going to return as Bo-Katan, who's, of course, turned up in Rebels and the Clone Wars. And Hera Syndulla, which is a character from Rebels, is also going to make an appearance. This really seems like a who's who of the Star Wars animated world.
More like a
coming
who's
in.
that?
I know all these characters, and how dare you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk about the Clone Wars actually and what we're reading because I did.
All right.
I did watch some of it, which I quite enjoyed. So yeah, there is some concern that with that, you've got your Captain Rexes and your Boba Fett's and all your other characters that they're working in. Like, is there any room for original characters anymore in Star Wars? No.
Wow.
Is my answer. There's also speculation that maybe they're kind of doing all this so that they can spin off into other series and all that kind of thing.
Yeah,
They're testing
everything's like a
grounds
backdoor
and-
pilot
yeah.
kind of situation, right?
And the thing is as well, there is still that 30-year gap between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens that
is
has
true.
largely been unexplored. There's still some books and comics, but there's a lot of stuff that happened in there that we don't really know. I mean, why is Han Solo mostly the same? Because he went back to smuggling. It was in a book.
right.
Was it a book?
yeah,
in a book.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. You still excited for the Mandalorian season 2? Have you been
Yes.
watching that making of Mandalorian on Disney Plus?
Oh, probably should.
Yeah, I've heard it's quite good. So I'm gonna. They're
Okay,
doing a
cool.
directors roundtable, and they're like, "What do we think of Star Wars?"
Okay.
And they're all like, "I grew up with Star Wars."
Are they doing it episode by episode? Like episode
I
1
don't
of
know.
Mandalorian in there? Okay.
don't believe so.
Because otherwise it'd just be like, big monitors.
doing.
Live stuff on the monitors.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing now,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's exactly it.
Here's a piece of news. This is from
Love news.
This is from NME.com. Obviously, the New Musical Express, the font of music news
Yes.
around the world, bands, tours, Spotify, Charlie XCX, I don't know, stuff like that. Anyway, this article says Chris Evans says he can no longer wear cable knit sweaters after Knives Out fandom. So
What?
he
Is
can't
that-
do it anymore.
He doesn't want to be associated with the character.
No, he on Fallon, he said he chooses his clothes as a result of the action. He can no longer wear his favorite cable knit sweater.
Ah,
That's right. It's a shame. I don't know if it works anymore, he says.
it's heartbreaking.
If you're listening, Chris Evans, it definitely works.
It does.
I'm wearing a cable knit right now.
Yeah, but you're not Chris Evans.
No, I know. But I was in denial about that until moments ago when you said it.
But don't you think
I was looking in a mirror and going, Chris Evans, it's okay. You can wear a cable knit sweater if you want.
Yeah, but say you got really famous in a role for wearing a certain thing.
Yeah.
Would you then wear that thing every day?
Robert Downey Jr. just wears his own clothes.
Yeah, but that's a good point, actually.
I think so.
But he's the exception, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris Pratt isn't wearing his Star-Lord jacket, is what I'm saying.
That's true.
But I guess the difference is this isn't like, it's not a superhero outfit.
No,
it's just a regular
Just
clothes.
a regular clothes outfit, yeah.
I'm not to make of that. I'm happy for him though.
Yeah.
In all of his endeavors, including
right.
Is My Son Jacob Guilty or whatever, that Apple TV show.
Have you watched that?
I haven't watched it yet.
I don't want to buy another subscription.
I've got it
service.
because I got a new phone, and so you get it for a
okay.
year.
Maybe I should upgrade my phone.
It's
then.
not worth it
Oh,
to
no.
buy,
Okay.
but it is worth it if you get it for free
Oh, Quibi is out of business apparently.
because it's terrible.
I guess so.
And didn't the person who runs it was like, I went out of business because it was a bad time to launch because of quarantine. It's the best time to
It's
launch. and
absolutely
you
the best
fucked
time.
it.
That's right. You could not have picked a better time. Although, look, I see I see the justification there. Maybe because it seems like it was phone worthy.
It's
maybe,
small screen stuff.
and maybe he was like, "Oh, okay. Well, this is a show you watch when you get on the train.
Yeah.
You've got 10 minutes before your stop, so maybe you watch a new episode of something on
Yeah,
your
but
phone."
people are
kind
going
of
like
thing.
Dunny, aren't they, mate?
Yeah, they've always got the dunny, don't they?
That means toilet in Australian.
Yeah.
Just for everybody who doesn't
right,
know.
yeah.
So, but I still watch stuff on my phone.
Yeah.
Like if I get a spare moment to like stand in the cupboard and watch something while my kids are screaming.
or if you're in the dunny.
Or if I'm just in the dunny.
Yeah, taking a Grogan.
That's right. That's Australian for big shit. So, look, if you look at some of the programming for Quibi, it's not terrible.
Well, there was new episodes of Reno 911,
Yeah, exactly.
which is a show that I love.
A show that I never watched, but
No.
I've been meaning to watch.
Yeah, right.
But the idea that also you can watch it we talked about it in like
That's right, yeah.
different modes.
did, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
are you watching a show in like, what's the portrait mode or whatever?
Portrait mode, yeah.
I
No.
will do it on YouTube if I want to kind of read the comments
Yeah,
as I'm
right.
doing it. But generally, that's not something I
Yeah.
want. Do you want to see the greatest game where one of the Hemsworths is hunted? Kind of,
Yeah,
I
kind of,
guess.
depending on the Hemsworth, obviously.
depending on the Hemsworth. Yeah.
Quick, ask me which one.
Which one?
All of them, any of them. That was a trick question. Any of them, I'll watch them all. Luke Hemsworth. I'm up to date on the last Hemsworth.
Figured it out.
Because of Westworld.
Because of Westworld.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. I can't wait for you to forget
Oh, I'll forget.
until the new. But he's doing some stuff in between Westworlds, no doubt.
Quibi series is.
No, that's his brother, Liam Hemsworth. Doing
Oh,
Quibi.
good on him.
Yeah, that is good.
He seems like the early adopter.
Yeah.
He's in those OPSM ads in Australia.
Is he?
He's all about the place. He's in all sorts of ads. He's buying new glasses.
Oh, that's right. Because you're out in the world
I'm
and you're
out in the world,
trans.
yeah.
I'm not out in the world. I'm not
true.
seeing nothing.
Yeah.
I did see. Like I did have to go to the city because my baby was born.
Oh, yeah.
And the bus I was watching outside the hospital.
You wanted to show the big city lights.
and they were pretty good. But the bus that was going past was that Nazi hunting show on
I thought you were
Amazon
going to say
Prime
a
Video.
Nazi bus.
A Nazi bus.
Yeah, the one with Pacino.
Yeah, which I already watched. And
Okay,
I'm like,
right.
wow, they're not updating any of this shit, are they?
No.
So they've got, I was going to say, they're not Quibi ads, they're OPSM ads.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, right. So they're probably old.
But you must know, you would have seen them. They're on, there's like a TV ad. You would have seen it on YouTube or whatever.
No.
You got YouTube Red?
Yeah, I
Whatever it
do.
is?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
So
well,
I
then you
don't-
wouldn't have. Well, then you're missing out on some prime content.
Doesn't sound
'Cause
like
he
I
goes
am.
to he goes to an OPSM dealership or whatever, and they
dealership.
hand him a big bag of sunglasses, and they say, "What are they? If I can ask, what are these all for?" And then he goes through a bunch of stuff, like he's in his daily life, he's playing sport, and he's getting papped by the paparazzi or whatever. But,
Getting papped.
But my primary takeaway from that is, how dare that man ask him what he's using all the glasses for?
It's none of his concern.
None of his concern, exactly.
Exactly. It's like when you're an international assassin, you're like, what do you need all these guns for? You ask that question, you get shot.
You get shot, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what happens in the ads.
That's absolutely fair enough.
There's a deleted scene in the movie Extraction.
Yes.
Where the OPSM guy is in a room and he gets shot to death.
Wait,
They take a bag off his head.
quick question.
Yes.
Are we still talking about Liam Hemsworth or
Yes,
is
we
Chris
are.
Hemsworth in
No,
there?
it's a team effort. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Liam called in a favour.
You got to. Have you seen that photo of them where they're in like a bar fight?
No.
They just look like furious.
I
and
do
huge.
remember that though. Yeah. Yeah.
Would you fight the Hemsworth brothers? No way. No way.
I mean, it depends what it was over, I guess.
A bag of glasses.
Yeah, no, I would. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know if you could.
He's dallying in the world of glasses. I live in that world.
He'd kill you.
Yeah, well, it'd be a good fight though, I reckon.
Yeah, for him.
Yeah, I know. You get some sort of cool security camera footage where it'd still be looking incredible.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. Here's a bit of news.
I love
For
news.
you. Speaking of Star Wars.
Are you talking about Star Trek? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
CBS All Access have ordered a full season of Star Trek, whatever it's called.
Captain Pike.
Yes.
Yeah.
Star Trek Strange New World. So this is going to be featuring Captain Pike.
Yes.
Who was the Starship Enterprise captain before Kirk.
Played by, I'll look that
Anson
up.
Mount.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. He's great.
Yeah,
He's
great.
really good in that show.
And
Spock.
Spock.
New Spock.
Yeah.
Beard Spock.
Yeah, Beard Spock, but I
Yep.
think the trailer seems to suggest
And
no
number
Beard
one.
Spock. And number one, who's
I don't want no Beard Spock.
Rebecca
I know
Romijn.
he did shave it off at the
Yeah.
end of the series.
yeah,
But I don't want no Beard Spock. Did you watch Picard?
No, I didn't finish it.
You know what's good about that show?
It ends.
Yeah, that's yes.
We're gonna do that.
I was gonna boo, but
Yeah, right.
you got it in one.
For the listener,
Yep.
James even put his hands around his mouth,
I leaned
megaphone
out.
style. He leaned out,
of the mic like
But
this.
to not blow all your ears and headphones.
Yeah.
And
So I've learnt my
I
lesson.
and I stole your thunder.
You did. That's
and
okay.
I'd do it again.
I'm happy for it.
Thank you.
I can't wait till the Hemsworth brothers get you.
Yeah, I can't wait either. Oh my god,
You're gonna get papped. You're gonna be famous.
I'm gonna reblog it on Instagram. The security footage. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Number one is also in it as well.
Yeah.
Rebecca Romijn.
Yes.
is gonna be in it. Yeah, I think this is a good idea.
I think so too.
So
It seems also like it's going to be.
him leading up to being in that box that he has to be in.
Yes, that is definitely it. Every episode, he's going to stick his head in like a microwave or whatever, and being like, can't see myself living in this.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you reckon? I think.
Yes.
And call me naive.
Oh, yes.
But I think they're going to find a way to alter the timeline,
And
and
he's
he's
gonna
going
be-
to
yeah.
circumvent that.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, like
also
he'll
this
jump
appears
to
to
the
be,
future. Or it'll be a teleporter clone. You know how that happens sometimes.
yeah, maybe,
or whatever?
yeah,
I think they'll
yeah.
figure it out.
It'll be a Doctor Who Tenet situation where like another version of him ends up in the box.
Exactly.
Or it's you know what? It could very well be because in the.
Do you want to explain the box to those who don't know? Actually,
In the especially the original series of Star Trek,
Yes.
there's an episode I think where Kirk is on trial, or the crew of the Enterprise is on trial.
they do it in Futurama as well.
Yeah, they do, and they bring in star witness Captain Pike,
Who was in the pilot?
he was in the pilot, and
Same actor?
I think so.
I'm gonna look that up.
I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
And he through a variety of horrifying circumstances, he has ended up in like a space iron lung.
Yes.
Situation / wheelchair situation.
Correct.
And I think you could very well be right. It could be he could receive some sort of premonition or prophecy that he's going to end up like that.
Yes.
And we wonder what's going to happen to him through the whole series. And then we introduce an evil shapeshifter or something like that. And then,
Yes.
and then at the end of the series, this shapeshifter assumes his form and then he's murderized.
Yeah,
and ends
right,
up in the
absolutely.
box. And when the box is saying, I think Captain Kirk's guilty or whatever, what he actually means is, I'm not really Captain Pike, I'm a shapeshifter.
Yeah,
But
okay.
this is how my
gotcha.
language
Yeah.
sounds. You know?
Yeah. So it looks like it is the same actor as well. I might be wrong because I'm just trying to skim the Wikipedia while talking to you at the same time. But yeah, what was interesting because they touch on it in to spoil Star Trek Discovery season 2 or an element of.
Go ahead.
There's a moment where he has to get like a time crystal or some shit. I can't remember. And if he grabs the crystal, that will lock his fate in that he's stuck in this box.
Yeah, right.
And you see him, and it's actually really good. And he's actually really good in the role where he makes a decision where he's like, "This is my fate. I know I'm going to get horrible radiation poisoning. I'm going to end this box." And he gets a flash of his future and him in the box, and he's like screaming, like, "Oh no, this is going to happen to me!" And he kind of rallies and he kind of takes a breath. And then he grabs it anyway because he's like, this is for the good of... And then when he saunters back onto the bridge,
Right.
like the bravado's back up and he's just like, I've got a job to do. And he's just really good in
That's
the role.
that is
yeah.
I mean, and also I feel like, and that is also that's the spirit of Star Trek that I think a lot of people probably accuse Discovery of not having.
Yeah, and there's
of
I certainly cannot argue with that because there is elements of it.
But yeah,
that's
but
not
I think
perfect,
that's
yeah.
when people think of Star Trek, they think duty and stoicism in the face of
being in a box.
being in a box and insurmountable odds kind of thing.
Insurmountable odds.
Oh, that's very good.
Thank you. That's more of a you thing, but with that kind of
I've
wordplay.
noticed you leeching my power away, but
That's what I'm about. I need it for parenting. I need some.
Well, I need it for fighting some or all of the Hemsworths.
You're not going to win anyway.
It's a good point. That is a good point. I may as well go down in the first punch. That'd save me a lot of trouble, if anything. But yeah, like when people think of Star Trek, they think of, the Enterprise and they're being surrounded by the Borg.
Yes.
And then Picard's in his ready room and then they discuss it and then he stands up and he like tugs his uniform down and
Ready
he's
to
like,
go.
here we go. It's time for this and then
Time for clenching two fists together and wildly swinging
doing a big
them.
punch.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
then holodeck time afterwards.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'll have a merry jaunt on the bridge.
That's right.
Yeah. I'll make Data kiss Riker or something. I don't know.
That's right, because that's what I'm into.
That's what I'm into.
Yes.
I'm French. I'm weird.
I'm stoic, and that's how I got to get it out somehow,
Anyway, look, I'm not wrapped on new Star Trek in general.
Oh, yeah?
I think it's way too over budget and they often miss the point of what they're doing, and some of the creators behind it seem like... I've heard some stuff, and I don't want to discuss it here, about some of the people behind it who are truly awful.
Like stars or...
No, some
production
creators
people.
behind
Wow,
it, but
okay.
I'm not going to get
Tell
into
me
it.
afterwards.
Yeah, I will. But and it's because I don't want to get anybody into trouble. But
all right.
yeah, just so yeah. But you know what? I think that's a good spin-off. I think hopefully. What else you got in news? All right, I've also got some news.
Yeah, okay. Timothy Oliphant, I did mention that. A lot of people are dead.
The Elephant Man.
The Oliphant... I would never stoop that low as to say the Elephant Man.
Yeah, I would.
You could.
Obviously.
Good.
But he's clearly not, like, if he was hideously ugly, that would be like, that's a bit rough.
Yeah, right.
But who am I hurting? Like, if I said that to him, he'd be like, he wouldn't be like, hey, he's okay with it.
No, I wouldn't. I would stoop to an insult. I just wouldn't stoop to a play on words of that level, of that caliber, James.
Okay, well, I can understand that.
Yeah. But I can see why you might be justified in doing so.
Yeah, It's pretty good.
Thank you.
Pretty good.
What do you have, James?
Oh, I've actually got Netflix is getting a new movie called Ball and Chain.
Okay.
It's actually written by Emily V. Gordon, who's behind
from The Big Sick, yeah.
and podcasting. They've actually got a new podcast, which I'll talk about more on Suggestible
Okay, cool.
at the moment, but people would know her and Kumail Nanjiani. They do a lot of cool stuff
Yeah,
together.
they were best known to me initially as
Yes.
the hosts of the Indoor Kids.
Great podcast,
The no
yeah.
longer around Indoor Kids.
Yes. But it's based on a 4-part comic book series of the same name by Scott Lobdell, and it follows Edgar and Mallory Boulson, a married couple who have decided to throw in the towel. However, their lives are flipped upside down when I nearly did the Fresh Prince thing. I nearly just went into it automatically.
Yeah, right.
When a mysterious meteor bathes the couple in extraterrestrial energies, giving them superpowers that only work when they're together.
And their parents just don't understand.
Don't just understand. And it's Big Willie time and Millennium and other things.
Miami.
And Hitch.
we talked about the
Willie
Miami
Hitch.
sign?
Sorry?
We talked about the Miami
How it's not a real sign?
No, it's not a real sign.
Yeah, but it's
I
the-
saw it in something quite recently, like a new
Bad
thing.
Boys 3, probably.
No, it was another thing.
Bad Boys 2.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
I'm sure if you Googled Miami sign, it would give you a list of things.
Yes, exactly.
Because there's not like a definitive Miami landmark that people know. Is that the reasoning behind it?
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, when it's a big pile of cocaine.
Yeah, of course.
this-
I'm sure people, though, who are from Miami are like, how dare you? There's a very iconic Miami river.
Yeah, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, what do you think of that? So it sounds kind of like Mr. and Mrs. Smith sort of, but superheroes, and also a bit of that movie Hancock, where they have to be together and they're angels. To have
Oh,
powers.
that's right, of course,
But
yeah.
it seems better. I'm guessing from the casting that this is also off the back of they're doing Jungle Cruise together, the Rock's Tiny Tugboat.
Oh, yeah, of course,
And they're
yeah,
like
yeah,
they've got
yeah.
a great chemistry and they're both incredibly tan. So let's get these guys
Hmm.
together for another movie. Yeah, interested?
Yes.
I'm always kind of skeptical of.
Movies, the entertainment industry.
Yeah, but there's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much
yeah.
crap and there's a lot of pedophiles and
Sure, right.
all that stuff, obviously. But you never know. Like, I'm skeptical of brand new superheroes because often they just borrow a lot of stuff from existing superheroes and be like, "This is like no one you've seen before," and you're like, "Well, I know who Superman is."
Sure, yeah.
But that being
Oh, but
said,
this guy's more sarcastic. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
that makes it. I like the people behind this. And Emily
Hmm.
V. Gordon also has a background in like therapy and like youth therapy
Yeah,
in
right.
particular, so that might bring an interesting slant to this as well. So yeah, I like it. I think, and it's going to Netflix. So what does that mean?
Did you see those superheroes that I think there was a big backlash against them quite recently? They were like, there was a non-binary superhero and there was a
Which
Marvel,
brand?
I think. Yeah.
Okay.
And
No idea.
people are up in arms, but it was one of those things where they didn't release them in context. They just released them in those character model sheets.
Like
where it's
a-
just like front shot, back
Yep.
shot. Here's their character, and here's a couple of character notes, and people were like, "Boo!" But you could do that with any. You could be like,
Yeah.
if you did it with Batman and Batman wasn't a thing, people are like, oh, he's a man and he dresses as a bat. Oh, he's got a cape. Boo. Exactly. So
Batarangs. Boo.
exactly.
Yeah. I'd say yay to Batarangs,
I
just to
say
clarify.
also, yes, that's right.
Just to clarify, yeah.
Yes.
What else have we got? You got any more news? 'Cause I also have some news.
They have a director for the Scarface reboot.
Yeah, people don't know.
He's the director of Call Me By Your Name, apparently.
Yes, which is apparently very good.
Luca Guadagnino.
I heard Michael B. Jordan might be the lead of it as well.
I heard it might be a Lady Scarface.
Lady Scarface.
Lady Scarface.
I know people are complaining that how dare you reboot Scarface and so forth.
Yes.
But Scarface itself, the movie is a reboot. It's like a 1930s film.
Uh-huh.
I'm not saying it'll be better than the movie Scarface
Sure.
because that's a classic and there's that bit with the cocaine and he goes... "Wah, wah,
Are you saying that it won't be on as many like college, university like movie posters on
Do
the
you
wall?
think that's what colleges are doing now? Because I
Not
don't
anymore.
think they are.
No, I don't think they are, but they were back in the
Certainly
day.
where it was that and it was Fight Club.
Donnie Darko.
Donnie Darko, obviously. Yeah, just movies that...
Now it's just Deadpool parodies of those. So it's Scarface, but it's Deadpool.
Sure.
Donnie Darko,
Donnie
but
Darko,
Deadpool's in
Deadpool.
the movie theater, and he's like, "Who's this bunny? Is it
Yeah.
the Energizer Bunny?" Boo.
It's Deadpool, but it's actually a Deadpool 2 poster.
That's right, exactly. What am I doing back here? It's this first one sucked, but this one's gonna be good.
Yeah, look, I don't even know if I've seen Scarface in its entirety.
Yep.
So I'd have to. I think it's one of those things where I probably saw it like 20 years ago.
Yeah, right.
But I'd have to watch it again to be like, no, I've seen this.
Yeah.
But obviously, everyone knows the scene.
Yeah.
You know, the giant.
Well,
pile
now
of
it's
coke.
going to be say hello to my little friend, acceptance and wokeness. People are going to be like, boo, boo. You know,
Yeah.
it's probably going to have a lot of feelings.
Yeah, sure. But the thing is, like, if you're going to reboot it,
Yeah.
you need to change elements of it. Whether it be
Otherwise, it's pointless.
Otherwise,
yeah.
what are you doing? So whether that be a casting choice, or what you got to do.
I'm
something.
gonna I'm gonna look up Lady Scarface and
Yeah.
see and see who the casting. Maybe this was just a ridiculous rumor. It might have been Tilda Swinton,
Oh, she'd crush it though,
right?
wouldn't she?
Yeah.
Like there's nothing wrong with that.
Look, I don't know anything here, but maybe I made that up.
Yeah,
But,
I was in a group message chat with this week, and people were like,
with famous people.
"No, I don't know.
then I'm not in- then I'm
what
not
are you talking
interested.
about? No, it's regular people. People
This
you
diversion
know.
is over, James. No, okay, go ahead.
But it came up,
Yes.
and people were like, "I can't. Why would they reboot this or whatever?" And I wanted to jump in and be like, "Well, actually, it's a reboot of blah blah blah." blah. But like,
Right.
no one wants to hear that
Uh-huh.
because shut up, me. Obviously, it's the same when you talk about The Thing, and people are like, "I can't believe they remade The Thing when The Thing itself is a reboot." Or
Yeah.
whatever. Nobody cares. Like nobody.
Something that I relearned this week.
Yeah.
And we may have even mentioned on the show, but I don't know if we have.
The show or a different show?
Maybe a different show, maybe in our lives. Who knows?
okay.
The show that is our lives. You know?
Yeah.
That Die Hard is a sequel to a movie starring Sinatra.
Sinatra movie, yep.
The detective.
Yes, that's correct.
So he got first pass on
did.
being in that movie.
Yep.
Die Hard.
And then it went through like Stallone and some others and
Yeah,
whatever
right.
until it went to Bruce Willis when he was still trying. But yes, that is correct. That was actually one of the movies. Well, I guess I can mention this because it will probably never happen. But
Oh, no.
when they were going to make a new Die Hard,
Yes.
the last kind of Rat Pack movie I wanted to do
Yeah.
was that Frank Sinatra, John McClane movie.
Yeah, right.
Which I might end up doing anyway if they eventually make another Die Hard because Disney have it and who knows
Oh,
what's happening. with
so what you're saying is we're saving it until.
Yeah.
Okay, right,
Because remember
right.
there was going to be that Die Hard prequel sequel.
Yeah, I
as
do
well,
remember
whatever,
that,
But
yeah.
I don't think that's happening
Old
anymore.
Die Hard flashes back to young Die Hard.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Old
yeah.
Die Hard v Young Die Hard.
That's right.
Battle for the Widow's Peak. So
They're both reaching for it on the poster. But young McLean is reaching quite a lot harder than old. Of
course he is.
Old McLean doesn't care.
old McLean's doing it over Skype or whatever.
Yeah.
Or he sent somebody.
You said it, yeah.
He sent Jai Courtney, his son.
That's right.
To get it. Being stuck at home these days, you probably don't think much about internet privacy on your home network, Mason.
Shouldn't I?
I know you should because even if you fire up incognito mode on your browser, and you think no one can see what you're doing, right?
That's right. It'll fly up. What?
Wrong.
Whoa.
Even in incognito mode, your online activity can still be traced. Even if you clear your browsing history, your internet service provider can still see every single website you've ever visited.
All the cross-stitch patterns I've been looking at?
That's right.
Oh, my God.
Those were secret projects for me.
That's right.
And now I'll know in advance.
No happy birthday for you this year.
No. That's why even when you're at home, never go online without using ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN makes sure your ISP internet service provider, can't see what sites you're visiting. Instead, your internet connection is rerouted through ExpressVPN secure servers.
That's so sneaky.
I know. And legal.
Right?
Sneagle. Sleagle?
That's what makes it so much fun.
That's right.
Seems like you're doing something illegal, but you're not.
Yeah, certainly not. Each ExpressVPN server has an IP address that's shared among thousands of users. That means everything you do is anonymized, good word, and can't be traced back to you. And ExpressVPN also encrypts 100% of your data with best-in-class encryption, so your information is also protected. Use the internet with confidence from your computer, tablet, or smartphone. ExpressVPN has you covered on every device. Simply tap one button and you're protected. And ExpressVPN is one of the fastest and most trusted VPNs on the market and is rated #1 by CNET, Wired, The Verge, and countless more.
They're all big websites.
That's right, and countless more. There's too many for them to even name because it's
Some
countless.
smaller websites.
That's right, exactly. Or bigger websites.
You never know.
Countless. So you can actually protect your online activity today with the VPN that we trust to secure our privacy. Visit our special link at expressvpn.com/weeklyplanet and you can get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. That's expressvpn.com/weeklyplanet. Visit expressvpn.com/weeklyplanet to learn more. It's also linked below. Thanks for sponsoring this episode, expressvpn.com/weeklyplanet.
No problem.
And I was going to say, and thank you, but you've
I'll
jumped
take them
in.
both. No, I'll take them both. You're
Okay.
very welcome for both things.
No, it's good. I'm with the show.
Absolutely.
What were we talking about again? I can't remember. I've got more news though. If you do, want more news.
I'd like to hear some more news.
Okay, so Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson is getting a Disney Plus television
That's right,
reboot.
yes.
Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. It's 5 books apparently. I did some
Yes.
research. I did my research.
And some movies. I've seen
And
one
some
of them.
movies. It's been 2 movies, 2010 and 2013, I think.
Uh-huh.
Movies are mixed in their response because they borrow some of the lore and they're not faithful enough and whatever. I don't know enough about it to definitively say whatever. I know Christopher Columbus, I think, directed the first one, who did the first 2 Harry Potters, I believe.
Yep.
There's a huge fan base for this, and there is
Yeah.
also massive kind of praise for the way that they're doing this 1 book a season, 5 seasons if it goes well.
Oh, I see. Wow. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Even the Logan Lerman, who was the original Percy Jackson, tweeted out and is like, "I'm really excited to see this, and it's great that this is."
You're right.
Because they did plan to make more movies, but they never
right.
got around to it.
Well, that's some good. He's sending out some good vibes to the universe.
think so, yeah.
Speaking of, did you see Matthew Lillard was like, "Bless the new Scooby Doo movie"?
Did he?
He was like,
Good on
luck.
him.
But the world needs a new Scooby Doo or whatever."
I heard it's fine.
I've also heard it's
I heard
fine.
it's more of a Hanna-Barbera shared universe movie than a Scooby-Doo movie as well.
I've heard.
Oh,
Look,
what have
we've
you
both
heard?
heard a lot of things
We've heard
this
some
week
things.
and seen neither of them. Neither of us seen it, but it's apparently Scooby Doo plus Hanna-Barbera characters, and they've also tried they've wedged in a superhero theme.
Yes.
because kids like superheroes now.
They love it. 'Cause
I would assume you would have seen this with your kid.
it just came out Friday,
Okay,
so
right,
I will
right.
see it.
Yeah.
We actually watched Spider-Verse today.
Oh, yeah.
And rewatching it with him, he's like 4.5.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a lot for a kid.
Yeah,
Like, it's insane. And so I think before he watched it, I introduced him to the different characters in different mediums. I'm like,
right.
this is some Spider-Ham. I found a good, there's a show on Disney Plus. I can't remember which Spider-Man series it is, but there's a Miles Morales introduction.
Okay. Here is a real
Spider-Gwen
spider.
is a real
It's
spider.
in the room with you right
You
now.
can
It's
touch
big.
it. You can touch it.
I can't remember if it's poisonous or not.
Yeah, exactly.
It's big, but is the rule that the big ones aren't, or they are? I don't know.
So he knows there's different versions.
Yeah.
But seeing them
Yeah.
all together, I could see he was just like, this is a lot.
Yeah.
So
here's the Vincent D'Onofrio Kingpin.
Yeah, that's right.
Here's the,
Here's him slamming a man's head in the car door.
Here's the one from the Green Mile. What's his name?
He's dead now. What's his
Yeah.
name? What's his bloody name? I'll look it up.
Please do.
I'm looking up Green Lantern. He's in Green Lantern, isn't he? Why am I typing Green Lantern? What? Is he in Green Lantern? Yeah. Michael Clark Duncan.
Michael
He is.
Clark
He's
Duncan,
Kilowog, I think, in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he's a voice or whatever, or a mocap dude. Yeah, so it's a lot. It was
bet,
for an
yeah.
introduction
Did
Spider-Man.
he have to cover his face?
No,
or
he
anything
was
for it?
fine with it. Like, he liked it.
Yeah.
But to like that movie, it's not just a kids movie, which
Yeah,
I guess
right.
is what's good about it. Yeah, but it's a lot. There's a lot of noise and color and
dead Spider-Man.
and it's funny. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I always knew it was funny, but I still love that joke when he's running away with the computer, and Peter Parker's like, we don't need the monitor. And
Yeah,
it's just
right.
like, just a fun little, I think I talked about it when we covered the movie. But yeah, so Percy Jackson.
Yes.
Good news is we get to cover it for Caravan of Garbage eventually.
Okie dokie.
When they start filming things
Good.
again or whatever.
What about this? They're kicking off the Superman and Lois series. That's confirmed.
Yeah, did you see the poster?
Yes, it's Superman and Lois.
I like that version, I think.
Me too. Yeah,
I might watch it.
you might watch it. Okay,
Yeah, I think they're
that's
going to
the
do a
spirit.
Batgirl crossover as well. Didn't they mention that as well?
Batwoman.
Show I also haven't been watching.
Yes.
You know, the Ruby Rose.
Batwoman,
one.
yes.
Batwoman, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
The Ruby Rose one or whatever.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
But no, it's having seen some of that crossover stuff that they did and seeing him turn up in Supergirl, a show that I liked but stopped watching like I do all things. Yeah, I like him. And that universe still exists and is mostly good, it would say.
It's still good. Here's a tweet from my friend and yours, Michael Williams.
I know
from
Michael
many
Williams.
podcasts that he does.
Yeah.
And doing comedy.
And a very nice man.
Very nice man. Someone tweeted out we should share our most mundane celebrity encounters. Michael has written, I once sold Ruby Rose a copy of Maxim. She was on the cover. Neither of us remarked on that fact. So that's fine.
That's fun. You got a mundane celebrity interaction?
Saw Silverchair in an airport food court once.
Saw a Silverchair.
Oh, the band
in an airport.
Silverchair. Every member of the band Silverchair.
What'd you say?
Daniel
to him?
Johns, the other two. I didn't go up to him.
No?
No. But people were like chasing him around.
Jason the
Like in a game of musical chairs, musical silver chairs.
I was going to say more of like an old-timey kind of like British sitcom.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They were chasing silver chairs.
One of them's a British Bobby with a club.
Silverchair were chasing them. That's right. Then there was just like a sexy nurse being chased around.
Yeah,
No, but like they were at a food court, and then all these like fans just started milling around them,
Yeah.
and then they just had to move to the next food court,
Sure.
which was like visibly down.
Yep.
The hall.
Yeah.
And then all the fans eventually had to like pretend they weren't following Silverchair.
Oh, yeah.
They had to
Did
be
you
like,
follow Silverchair?
No.
What year was this? Let me guess.
Yes.
2004.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I know things.
Yeah, nice.
So I feel like now people, like the fans of Silverchair are now a bit older.
That's
so
true.
they're like mid-30s. They're not following them around a food court.
that's true.
Are they?
No.
I've had a few, I guess. One of them being that when I was like 19, I met John Burgess in a
Baby John
casino.
Burgess.
Baby John Burgess.
Yeah.
He's like, I was going to say he's like the Tony Barber. What's an American...
He hosted Wheel of Fortune for
Yeah,
a long
what's an
time.
American reference or a British reference?
Alex Trebek.
Alex Trebek. It's like an Australian Alex Trebek. And he was fucking awesome.
Oh,
like, he
nice.
was really nice.
Nice.
And very, and I was like half cut. And he was just really nice and great. So that was really
Every
cool.
week on Twitter, he puts up a TGIF related joke.
Yeah,
He just
right.
does a joke and he says TGIF because it's Friday. And everybody in the replies is just like, TGIF, baby John. TGIF, buddy.
Baby John Burgess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think I've got some others.
A while back, Pete Smith got on the tram on the way to the football.
Oh, Pete Smith.
Famous, just radio announcer,
Yep.
TV announcer, Pete Smith.
Sale
speaking.
of the century.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Got on with his wife. It was,
Cool.
seemed he didn't say or do anything really, but he seemed like a nice man.
But he was there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he sure was.
He was there for it.
That's
think
a
I've-
mundane encounter.
I don't know if I've had any others. I probably have. I don't know. I'm trying to bother people. What else we got here?
I think I mentioned this another time, but one time Billy Brownless walked in front of the tram as it was moving and nearly ran him over.
Didn't you also almost run over Angry Anderson once?
No, that was in person. I went to fight him. Not true. Anyway,
You would kill Angry Anderson.
I would kill
I know
Ang-
he's known
yeah.
for his anger,
Yeah.
but you would tear him in half.
he just the reputation, just the aura I would project, having lost a fight to any number of the Hemsworths. Just him being in that aura would kill him.
Yeah, it would.
So,
yeah. What was Billy Brownless like? Was he like, I'm walking here?
No, he was like whoop whoop.
He was all right?
Yeah, because
he's
he's
a
the
local
goofy guy.
larrikin, isn't he?
He's a local larrikin, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Footy's back, Mason.
He's all right.
Good for you.
I was thinking this week that, I'm like all these people bloody just complaining, just I can't leave the house but why put the football back on? And I'm like, these idiots, why can't they just shelter in place and do all that? And then it just occurred to me, it's just because I like things that are indoor things.
Yeah, right.
Like it doesn't affect me.
Yeah, people like doing
Yeah,
things.
right.
But also, don't people like being alive?
Yeah, I guess they do, yeah. But at the same time, I'm above all this. I can approach a Zen state of concentration
Zen
and
master.
stay inside. But it's like, but that's only because I only like things that are in the TV.
Same.
So
Do you
If
mean
I
like,
like things that were outside, I'd
do you
probably
mean like
just,
components, various cables inside a TV?
resistors and capacitors and such.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Mhm.
Just tinkering away on a tube TV.
Just LAN cable inputs.
Yeah. It definitely, like, because there have been some relaxing restrictions this week, and it has been nice to catch up with a handful of people and just be like, let's have a wine, do some day drinking, mate. I'm at home;
My
it doesn't
goodness.
matter.
Nice.
That being said, I guess I could always just day drink. I've been doing this for a while. I could have been day drinking from way back.
That's right.
I'm letting it go, Mason. I'm not doing enough exercise. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I can tell.
You did give me the up and down when you came in.
It's true.
The Washington Post have reported, this is an anonymous source inside the film industry. What does that mean? I don't know. If Tenet doesn't come out or doesn't succeed, every other company goes home. It's no movies until Christmas.
Wow.
What do you think of that? So Tenet is the canary in the coal mine
Of
movies.
being released into cinemas. Yeah,
Correct.
right. Wow.
Yeah.
Again, I still don't think Nolan is feeling the heat.
I don't think it's ultimately down to him.
No,
I
I
know
know,
it's
yeah.
his decision,
Yeah, right.
and he's obviously pushing for it. But if things don't recover
Yeah.
enough where they think they can make profit from this, they're not doing it.
That's true.
Yeah, and then no movies until December.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Well, Christmas. We don't know if they're going to push Christmas back.
I hope they do.
Wow.
Push it back to 2024.
Wow.
No, I
tell
like.
your kids there's no more Christmas.
That's what I'll tell them. I like Christmas, the day of, and
Mm-hmm.
but I also like the day after Christmas when they bring out hot cross buns and everyone goes crazy. But hot cross buns should be a year-round thing.
I agree.
The fuck is people's problem with that?
That's right.
What do you care if there's hot cross buns? And people are like, well, there's raisin toast. And I'm sure I've even made that argument. It's not the same.
How about this? You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Circle buns. They're the same, but there's a circle on the top and not a cross. That's
okay.
we get around the Easter thing.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Pretty
It's
good
not a bad
idea.
idea, Mason.
Yeah.
We should actually get this edited out. Raw Collins is editing this out.
Yeah.
Also, congratulations to Weekly Planet posters on 100 posters.
You did 100
He's
posters.
got a Patreon
Yeah.
as well if people want to check that out. He's making those posters off his own dime.
That's right.
If you do want to commit to more posters, which I know you do. Do you have any more news? Because I have one more bit of news.
Let me check real quick. Season 2 of Doom Patrol is coming out. That's happening.
I haven't seen season 1.
I've just bought
What
it on.
platform
I've just
is
bought it
it
on Blu-ray. It's on.
Okay.
You can get it on. Here you can get it on Google Play.
You can probably get it on everything now. Yeah. Okay. I should watch it, shouldn't I?
It's good.
How much do you love it?
I love it a lot. We'll talk about it in a segment in a moment. But that's coming out, so that's confirmed.
Yeah.
That's good.
He's skimming his. Look at these notes, Mason. You're so prepared.
So many notes. Oh, the big news.
I think we've got the same big
The
news. I've
big
saved it for
news.
last.
Because it's so big. It's
the
and
biggest
definitive,
news.
big and definitive news. Is this the big and definitive news segment?
I would say it's
Big, juicy, and confirmed. Big, juicy, and definitive news. Can you feel it? Are you squishing it about?
Mason, there's a
Wobble.
reason I left it for last.
Yes, because it's the biggest, juiciest
Biggest
news.
news you could possibly ask
The
for.
New Mutants
Yes.
has a new release date.
Hey, Mason, they should call it the bloody old mutants by this point, don't you think?
Wait, why?
Because it's taken quite a long time to come into cinemas. But like the cast, by the time, you've probably seen some images online, but people have actually aged them up so they look like old people when they're promoting the show via Zoom. So they all look like elderly people. But at the time when they made it, they're supposed to be in high school. But then by the time it actually comes out, they're going to be much older. That's what's good about it. Old mutants. Do you get it?
I'm not really following, but I appreciate that you've attempted to clue me in on that. It's good.
It's a good joke.
Ah! Old mutants. It's
Old
good stuff.
mutants.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. So August 28th. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it all hinges on Tenet, doesn't it?
Though, yeah.
The linchpin of cinema.
This might not even happen if
How confident do you feel about this?
August.
Yeah. Everything's so up in the air at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, if they can figure out a system
Yeah.
and people are willing to risk the system in
Yep.
cinemas, like, okay, we can have
25% capacity or whatever it's supposed to be.
right. They'd have to, because that's the thing. They would have to.
They'd
Look,
have to.
They'd have to, exactly. But like the sheer logistics
The
to
audacity.
be safe,
Yeah.
it'd have to be, okay, everybody gets you buy your ticket
Yep.
and they assign your seat
Yep.
and you go, okay, every fourth seat and every other seat has like a big X on it. You can't sit on
Yep.
it. But also, if in order to actually be safe, you'd have to be like, if you don't arrive on time,
Yeah.
you're not allowed in.
Yep.
Because otherwise you got people climbing over
Going
you, being
in
like,
the
oh,
dark.
yeah,
Yep,
Or
absolutely.
maybe you buy an unassigned seat
Yep.
and they just wave you in and you have to fill all the seats.
If I'm going to this,
Yeah.
which I probably will for this show,
Yes.
I have to risk my life for this
Yes,
show.
that's right.
I'm 100% wearing a mask.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I know some people think is a bit PC
Yep.
to care for your health and others. But yeah, that's where I'm coming at this from. Yeah.
Can't you be a real man for your family and not wear a mask and potentially kill yourself and others,
My
James?
family know I'm not a real man.
That's true.
What would you do if
Yes.
you're in the cinema and someone comes and sits next to you? You say something, right? I'm normally not a say something guy.
Yeah.
Unless I'm like provoked into it, and
Okay.
then I'm a snap in public guy.
Okay. Okay. Main question: is it one of the Hemsworths?
no. That,
Oh, then
that
tell him.
account-
Tell him to get out of
Take
here.
a hike.
Take a hike, Buster.
What
I'd
if
say.
they insist and they show you the ticket, but the ticket's wrong? Then you
Because then I'd have to get close, wouldn't I? I'd be like, if you look,
Yeah.
you can see that the ticket's wrong there.
would you threaten physical violence? Would you be like, I'll break all of your fingers,
I don't think so.
stamp on
no.
your head? I know what you like. That's what you do.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
No, I also would not do that. That was
Yeah.
a test. Because you're probably quite sheepish from your Hemsworth beatdown.
That's exactly right. And I'm just in the cinema to get away from it, you know? Just I want to.
You want to watch a Marvel movie
That's
that you
right.
make that you're pretty confident has no Hemsworths in it.
Exactly right, yes.
Yeah. I think that's all the news anyway.
Yeah.
You know what it's time for though?
What's the time for, James?
What we reading? What,
What
we going
gonna
to
read?
read?
read.
I'm doing the thing. Westworld. Am I going to do that every week? I don't know. Did
Maybe.
it last week. We're not talking about Westworld,
We're
are
not
we?
though, no. I want to talk about Doom Patrol.
I don't. But what do you
Oh, come on, mate.
Look, I'll listen,
Aren't you
but I don't want to
intrigued?
talk about it.
Okay, that's
no, I
fine,
am
right.
interested.
It's-
So you hadn't actually watched it before, is that correct?
No, because it was not
Available here, DC streaming, etc.
Yeah, we don't have DC streaming. We don't have HBO Max. We do have it.
Oh,
on...
did you hear all the HBO Go stuff is going to Foxtel?
See, that's what we have here. We have a cable service, a very bad.
We've
cable
talked about
We
it.
have a cable service, a bad cable service run by a bad man. Anyway, I refuse. But
Murdoch,
anyway,
it's Murdoch.
Doom Patrol was on that along with Watchmen.
Yep.
But it also was not available on home release. You couldn't buy it on VOD. You couldn't buy it at Blu-ray or whatever
Yep.
until like this month. So I got it, and it's really good.
Really good, you say?
It's like again, it's sort of like season 1 of Titans in that it's saying, it's there's individual episodes, but it's also sort of a long ongoing epic. It's not like Monster
Oh,
of
like
the
a
Week kind
like a
of situation.
TV series.
Like a TV series, exactly, yeah. But
Whoa.
it's not, it's less Monster of the Week kind of thing.
Okay.
And it's funny and it's sweary and it's self-aware.
Yes.
And Alan Tudyk's in it.
Love him.
And Timothy Dalton's in it.
How
And
much real Brendan Fraser is in it?
He's in it quite a bit because there's a lot of flashbacks
Yes,
to
where he's
his...
like, I'm racing cars.
Yeah, I haven't finished. I'm maybe halfway through the series.
Yes.
But yeah, he's in it quite a bit because there's a lot of flashbacks. There's a lot of time jumps, both metaphorical and literal sometimes. It's quite self-aware. No real spoilers, but Alan Tudyk plays Mr. Nobody, who's sort of this
Void man or something?
he's sort of a void. He's sort of like a godlike void man who's sort of he's messing with the Doom Patrol for a variety of ways.
Is it actually him or is it a voice?
He appears physically.
Cool.
He does appear as a voice because he's also the narrator.
Oh.
But he is aware that he is both in the TV series Doom Patrol and that the particular arc that they've come from is the Grant Morrison arc from the 80s.
Oh my God.
And so he's like, well, this is going to piss off the Grant Morrison fans, this particular diversion from the established canon and
Yeah, right.
that sort of thing. Yeah.
Terrific.
It's really fun and it's funny. It's it's got this is not news probably to most people who are listening to this
everybody
from
who
America
would
because they've already
interested.
seen it already. But it's
But I've exclusively heard good things about
yeah,
this. And
this
it's
is
really
this is
interesting.
this one's been worth the wait, which is really nice.
Great. Terrific. Okay. Hot stuff. As I threatened,
Yep.
I watched the final 4 episodes of the Clone Wars.
Without
which people
watching
are
anything
like,
else.
don't watch it.
Right.
That being said, I've seen Rebels and I've seen like a lot of Clone Wars, and I read some of the supplementary materials, and I've read the comic arc, so I kind of know the backstory behind it. And also, Dave Filoni himself said that the last 4 episodes act as a standalone, and you should be able to watch them without seeing any of the supplementary materials around it. Anyway, it's great. It's awesome. The last 4 episodes of Clone Wars are well worth checking out, and I think before The Mandalorian comes back, because it could very well tie into that, I'd very much like to cover this for Caravan of Garbage.
Yeah, okay. We can do
So
that.
yeah,
just the 4 episodes.
Just 4 episodes. I mean, there's others. There's other
Yeah,
Archie,
right.
and there's certain episodes of Rebels that I'd like to cover as well.
yeah.
But it's some of the best Star Wars there's ever been, genuinely.
Wow.
It's really terrific.
Yeah, cool.
And I say that as somebody who didn't watch all the other stuff that much. So,
Right, okay.
But yeah, it's really.
So you don't think I'd be lost if I'm...
I don't think so.
Okay, right, okay.
No, it's there's
Does it
enough
say
in there.
previously on the
think
rest
so.
of the season of the Clone Wars?
A little bit. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah, look, I think because I knew a little bit, so there wasn't a moment in it or a character I didn't recognize.
Yeah.
But maybe that would be different for you. But I think there's enough in it where you understand Order 66, don't you?
Look, and yeah, exactly.
Then you're
I do.
fine because it
And
overlaps with Revenge of the Sith.
And I understand, generally speaking, you can tell somebody's, good or evil alignment by the color of their lightsaber. So
Oh my god, that's so
pretty
true.
much, I pretty
You
much
figured
get
out
it.
Star Wars.
I figured out Star Wars.
It's really
true.
terrific.
Some other stuff I've been watching. I watched a show on Netflix called Hinterland, which is sort of like...
Oh, yeah, I've seen that
It's
pop up.
it's a sad, cold British crime drama in a,
Oh
in a
my God,
sad
Claire's
town.
favourite.
It's very Broadchurch in that way.
It's
And
my
it's
parents'
a guy,
favourite.
and he's a criminal profiler, and he's moved to this town because he wants to get away from blood and all the murders, but there's other murders,
There's other murders?
There's other murders, that's right. Even in this sleepy seaside town.
Why did he not understand that?
Good
I guess
question.
he grows to understand it,
Yeah, he
doesn't
grows
he?
to understand it, I think, yeah.
Hinterland, huh?
He should have moved to space.
There's
no
crimes in
murders.
space. Did you see the trailer for Space Force?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Yeah, look forward to that.
No,
That's
me
coming
too.
to Netflix in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I also watched Solar Opposites, which is the
The,
new
Rick and Morty
Justin
guys.
Roill and
Okay.
some of the Rick and Morty guys. Initially, I was like, this feels a bit like Rick and Morty light.
Well, here's my question, I guess, because Rick and Morty is Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland.
Yes.
And oftentimes when one party goes and does...
You're talking about Grant Naylor and Doug.
No, what I was
whatever?
thinking of specifically is the two Mighty Boosh guys.
Oh, okay.
I find that oftentimes when you separate like a TV creative team, you go, oh, I get why they were... Like, I get why
Like
that
a Ricky
previous
Gervais
season...
and a Stephen Merchant.
Yeah, I get why
maybe
that
sometimes?
previous... Yeah, exactly. I get why that previous show worked and maybe this one doesn't, or it's completely different.
Sure.
Because the Mighty Boosh guys, they split up. Well, they didn't split up, but they finished
Doing
doing
their
their
things,
thing.
yeah.
And Noel Fielding had a show called Luxury Comedy, which was all the surreal stuff from the Mighty Boosh,
Yes.
but no plot to speak of, really.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I'm like, oh, I get it, how they work together is he did the surreal stuff and
Yep.
Julian Barrett did the plot
Yes.
of everything. So how is this? Is this all interdimensional cable?
No, there's definitely an element of that, and
Yes.
there's been accusations that one of the lead guys in it is just Rick because he's kind of knows everything and he's a genius.
I see, right.
But what I find interesting that they're really insecure in a different way than. I mean, Rick is also insecure, but in a different. They want to please people and kind of.
There's as many insecurities as in the world
Yeah.
as there are stars in the sky. So
But one of the really interesting subplots that does get its own episode is one of the children characters starts shrinking down people he doesn't like and keeping them in like a terrarium in his
Okay.
bedroom wall.
Yep.
But then there's this whole subculture in there of tiny humans.
Okay.
There's this Mad Max like dystopia society going on there.
Yeah,
And
right.
Alfred Molina is like the leader and there's this kind of rebel uprising and
Wow.
and mouse milk and the only thing that they get fed is chocolate and things like that because that's what one of the kids puts in there.
All right.
And so there's this whole episode. Well, it's interspersed, but then there's a whole episode dedicated to it.
Yeah, right.
And it's just, I honestly, I think it's really great, and you should watch it.
Maybe I will
If
watch
you
it.
like Rick and Morty, or even if you don't like Rick and Morty, then you probably won't like it. But it's different enough. You're not
Yeah,
going to be
right.
like, well, this is what I was worried. This is
Yeah.
diet Rick and Morty, because it's certainly not.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And it's all late. They released all late. So just use
stuff.
your VPNs.
Unlike Rick and Morty, which is coming out one episode at a time.
That's
what,
right.
What was this week? It was
it was a good one.
It was the Facehugger episode.
Facehugger episode, yeah, which was good.
Oh, I liked it too.
Because they
yeah.
explored Facehugger society in a way that we had not seen
They sure did, yeah.
before.
Also, I've been watching, and I mentioned this off air, I've been watching H-Bomber Guy's YouTube videos.
Yes.
He does sort of long video essays on a variety of topics.
You sent me that, and I'm like, I've seen this,
Yeah, right.
Mason.
You know what I have been watching this week? I
Yeah.
forgot. That's what he did a video. H-Bomber Guy did a video a couple of years ago about why Sherlock, the British TV series,
Yes.
sucks. And so I started watching Elementary, which is I started watching it ages ago, but I've gotten back on it, and it's a good.
Apparently, it's good. Like
it's a
way
good
more
solid show.
consistent.
Yeah, it's the American version of Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
So it's Johnny Lee Miller as Sherlock Holmes, and it is Lucy Liu as Joan Watson, and it's good. It's a good solid murder mystery of the week show, and it's unlike British Sherlock. It's a show where if you are paying attention, you can figure out the clues and solve the mystery
So, but
potentially at the same
British
time. as
Sherlock will go into his mind and be
He'll
like,
go into his mind
I
palace.
found it.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
It was Moriarty.
yeah.
And he's also lives in my mind, maybe,
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yes.
or whatever. That's great, I think. Cool. Yeah, I should watch that. And they've got, did you see that Danny Boyle and the two Sherlocks, they made a version of Frankenstein together, and it was a London stage production. It just got released on YouTube for free.
Johnny Lee Miller's in
Johnny
it.
Lee Miller.
Yeah,
and
there we go.
Benedict
it all works
Cumberbatch.
together.
So, yeah, there you go.
So, that's what I was saying. But H1 Guy does a lot of
Yes.
long form.
I like his climate
long
change.
form videos about variety of topics, and he doesn't pull any punches. It's very fun.
Certainly doesn't.
So yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what it's time for then?
Is it time for letters?
Yes, Mason. Yes.
Classic one was
Letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away.
I know they're here right now. We're going to do letters.
If you do want to reach the show, #WeeklyPlanetPod on Twitter. Bit light on the ground in terms of Twitters this week, but don't get me wrong, got to pick out a couple of bloody good ones.
Yep,
Don't you worry about
few
that.
good
But
ones, yeah.
please send them through because I see all of them. So please. And what have you got, Mason?
I've got letters, James.
Yes.
If you'll bear with me for one darn second.
Through weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com.
That's right.
We're just inundated in a
Look
good
at this
way.
one. Okay, here's a few. This is from Hamish Brown.
Yes.
He says recently watched The Nice Guys and Bad Times at the El Royale.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, my nemesis. Both of which are great. Well, we'll see. Include
Bad
an
Times is
excellent
okay.
cast and an original story, but bombed at the box office. Why do you think original star-studded movies like the ones above fail to make their money back?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Because they star-studded cast.
Yep.
And we've got a Gosling. We've got a Mendo.
Yep.
We've got a Hemsworth.
We've got a
at the
Crow.
same it's true. Is that who I'm thinking of?
Russell Crowe's in.
Oh yeah,
Nice
this is the
Guys,
nice guy.
yeah.
I'm thinking of that Hustle. The movie. It's got Mendelsohn and Ryan
American
Reynolds.
Hustle?
No, it's called Mississippi Grind.
I haven't seen that.
Probably bombed.
Who knows?
Who knows?
But probably.
But you're right. Nice Guys, Russell Crowe and Gosling, and then Bad Times has the Hemsworth brothers.
Yes.
But then again, Knives Out had an all-star
That's
cast.
true,
And
yeah.
it was original concept. Did
Do you
really
think it's
well.
in marketing?
I think it might be in
Do you think it's
marketing.
also a mass appeal kind of thing? You got to
I don't
make
know,
something
because
that,
Bad Times at the El Royale also in the marketing felt like a Tarantino
yes,
joint. You know what I mean?
But they can't be like, and it's a Tarantino movie.
That's true. Yeah.
I think also if you look at Knives Out,
Yes.
and the way it was marketed and presented, and it's a beautiful looking film that you could kind of take any scene from that and show somebody. And if you look at the whatever it's called, I was going to say El Camino,
Yes.
the bad hotel thing, you watch the trailer for that, and it's flashes of neon and blood and rain and violence.
All my
and,
favorite things.
Yeah, but you're not going to be like, Mum and Dad, you should see this. Whereas opposed to something like a Knives Out,
Yeah.
you could be like, it's a good murder mystery.
Yeah,
and
right,
you get that from the trailers.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, maybe it is. It's like I feel like I can't really recall what happens in the trailer for El Royale, but if you'd said it involves a man getting his head smashed into the floor,
Yes.
I'd be like, yeah, it does. Of course it does. It's got that.
Yeah.
It seems a little too seedy, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that it?
And I guess also because The Nice Guys is also like that's a seedy film. You
Yeah,
know what
that's
I mean?
true.
Probably not as much, but Nice Guys is terrific. I wasn't huge on the other one that you said. His name I keep forgetting.
El Royale?
Yeah, I like the idea of it more than. No, I liked it. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it does come down to broad appeal and marketing and a clear message of a thing that people like.
Yeah,
and then they
yeah.
have to like it
Yeah, right.
after coming out of it to tell other people. Because most movies do well off word of mouth eventually,
That's true.
generally. But who knows?
Yes.
I don't know.
Also, Nice Guys finished last.
Is that always true?
That's probably true.
Whoa.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
This is from just_Jonathan.
Ooh.
#Weekly Planet Pod. What do you think is the best second movie in a series? Example, Empire Strikes Back, Terminator 2, etc. Rules.
Yes.
It cannot be third or fourth. It must
Oh.
be the second in the franchise.
Okay.
What would you say if I was like sequel trilogy Star Wars, The Last Jedi is better than Force Awakens? Controversial, I know, because Star Wars. But would you say that would not count because it's technically like the 100th Star Wars movie?
No, because it's a new trilogy.
Is it though?
Oh, yeah, good point. Is it okay? Maybe it has to be an original IP.
Okay, sure.
You know?
So if I was like The Dark Knight, would you be like, well, there's been lots of Batmans?
Oh, you've got me again because that's maybe more of an auteur type movie, isn't it? Makes you think, doesn't it?
And if I was like Blade Runner 2049, would you be like, well, technically the movie Soldier is a spin-off with Kurt Russell.
Oh.
Is that a sequel though? Is that a sequel?
Makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think Blade Runner 2049 is better than Blade Runner.
Wow.
I don't think that's controversial.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, it's it's really well produced. It looks amazing. It probably looks like how they want, and the original Blade Runner was quite the feat.
It looks like a dog's turd. No, it doesn't. Actually, it still looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's Blade Runner 2049 is what if they had technology at the time, it's what it would look like.
Totally.
The original would look like. So
Can you think of any other sequels that you're like, that one is the best in the series.
I mean,
I was going to say
Terminator
Mad Max 2.
Terminator 2 is very
Yes.
good. That is.
But is it the best? Because I would say you could even argue the Terminator is better. My brother, the one you do like,
Yes.
thinks the Terminator is better
Yeah, I
than
know he does.
Terminator 2.
Yeah, I'm aware.
What about this? Spider-Man 2 is the best Spider-Man?
That is true.
Is it? Because Spider-Verse?
What do you mean?
Spider-Verse is Spider-Verse better than Spider-Man 2?
Well, it is, but it's not a second movie, is it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it's not, but I'm saying it has to be the best in a series of
Aliens.
films. I've got that written down here.
Yeah.
But is Aliens definitively better than Alien?
I think it is.
I think it's more... I think it's a...
We've seen Alien as adults. The
I
first
love
one.
Aliens. I love it.
But Alien.
But is it better? I don't know if it is.
all right.
If I was going to put one on,
Yes.
I'd probably put Aliens on. But that's because the first one is like a slow burn sci-fi, and the
Yeah,
second
right.
one's just like pew pew pew, pew pew pew.
Alien's pretty funny now in retrospect.
Aliens.
Alien, first one.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Is it?
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny and not scary.
I like the bit when his head comes off and he's spurting milk.
Yes, that's what I'm
That
exactly
is
what I'm
funny.
talking about. Yeah.
Now, I haven't seen this, but you probably have. Evil Dead 2 is the best Evil Dead?
No, Evil Dead 3 is the best Evil Dead.
That's what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
I think Deadpool 2 is better than Deadpool.
Okay, but here's the thing about Evil Dead 3 though. Evil Dead 3 is when it tipped over to like comedy action horror.
Yes.
So that's if you prefer more straight ahead horror, Evil Dead 2 is probably better. It is wackier, but it's also more better production and better everything. It's not, the cheaply made indie film. But
Did you say it's more groovy?
it's more groovy?
Yeah, baby, like Austin Powers?
Yeah. But 3 definitely tipped over into like we're very self aware of what's happening here. And
I think Austin Powers 2 is probably the best Austin Powers.
what about Darkman 2?
I haven't seen it. But
Darkman,
but
or
it's
whichever one.
probably not.
Return of Durant, whichever one it is.
I'm curious if people are like, what's a definitively better sequel?
Yeah.
Would you say also, to add a rule, it has to be in an entire franchise? So if it's Spider-Man,
Yes.
if you're like, Spider-Man Far From Home is the best Spider-Man movie.
Yeah,
or
well,
whatever.
they've had a million
But
tries.
there's been a
haven't they?
million. So
Yeah.
it's got to be like the first of.
Yes.
So even if you're like Batman Returns is the best Batman, well,
Yeah.
Batman 66 is technically the best,
Oh,
the first Batman movie.
okay,
I
right.
guess. I don't know.
Maybe we'd have to pick an era. Because what if you're like, well, Superman 2 is obviously the best Superman. It'd be like, well, what if, but it's not a sequel. It doesn't count because there were black and white bloody Supermans
Yeah,
back in the day.
fuck all that.
Okay.
Anything
good.
black or white, no.
Yes. Okay.
How about this, though? And I
Yes.
think you'll definitively agree with me on
Oh.
this. Tron Legacy is obviously better than Tron.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's maybe a good movie, I think.
Yeah. I've been saying that for years.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible 2 is the best Mission Impossible.
No, it isn't.
That's the worst one still.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there've been a lot of them too.
That's true.
Any other sequels, or you want to move on to a letter?
Let's move on to a letter.
I love
This
letters.
is from Tangible Bean.
Cool name.
It says Michael from the great nation of Ireland here. Agreed.
Hi,
I've never
Michael.
been, but I'd like to go.
I have, and it is. It's great.
Great. Well, good for you.
Thanks. I've travelled.
Due to the coronavirus, my school is doing a yearbook for the final students. All right.
Great email. Thanks.
No, there's more. I'm like, surely, sorry, I'm just reading this for the first time here. Do they not do it every year?
I don't know.
Maybe this is like
I mean, final students. It must be final year,
final year
right?
students.
Okay,
Yeah, not the final students ever in Ireland,
I hope not.
unless they're
Are they
falling
being
to savagery.
are they being children of men?
Or maybe it's
Yeah.
true. Maybe it's they're doing a yearbook even though everybody's locked indoors.
I get you.
This is the first and likely only time we'll get an opportunity to make up a yearbook quote. Maybe it is. Maybe they don't do yearbooks in Ireland.
Yeah.
And thus my friends and I are having trouble coming up with one. I'm heavily considering choosing "Tell me what to do. I don't know what to do."
Tell me what to do. I don't know what to do.
It's pretty good, right? Any helpful advice would be appreciated.
Mine was bad, and they didn't end up using any of them.
Mine
I think
was
we
also
talked about
bad.
it. Yeah.
I think
can't
maybe
even
we
remember
talked
what
about it in the
was.
show. but
Yeah.
Mine was bad. I like there's a I think I stole somebody else's yearbook joke from many years ago, but it's like before you make fun of somebody, walk a mile in their shoes because then you'll be a mile away and you'll have their shoes. So it's the classic
Wow,
joke.
how much bloody type space are they
Well, they
giving you guys?
clearly not enough. They were like, do whatever you want, and they cut it off in the middle. So it was like, before you make fun of somebody, walk a mile in their shoes. So it made it look like I was some sort of
You're some
sad
big
case.
loser.
Like I was some sort of sad case. You know
That's
what I mean?
apt though. They went. This is fitting.
That makes
They-
sense. They're like, we could cut off we could edit this in any way we want, but look at him. You know what I mean? We'll draw out the essence of him and put it on the page.
But if you actually look through yearbook quotes, just like a general yearbook, they're not good. They're
No, they're
either
all bad.
in jokes or like
current
Anchorman
references.
quotes or whatever
right,
it is.
exactly, yeah.
Whatever the current rep.
Just a quote from Scoob.
Yeah.
You should do a quote from Scoob, I think.
Yabba dabba doo, because
Yeah.
it's a shared universe.
That's right.
Because the Flintstones are
Yeah,
probably
right.
referenced in it or whatever.
Yabba Dabba Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
The dog. That's what your quote should be. Ultimately, it makes no difference. But you know what would be good? Just one where you look back on it in 20 years and be like, I don't know what this means.
Yeah.
I don't know. The name of Elon Musk's kid.
Yeah.
You could put that in there.
Nah, that kid will probably be famous for ruining something.
It's probably-
but
yeah.
look, I think if you did the I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You probably will put that in and look back and go, what is that?
That's the thing. If you're going to commit to that,
Yes.
I reckon if you commit to I don't know what to do,
Yeah.
or maybe I quote know what to do.
I quote know
What to do? You're gonna have to
You should do I quote know what to do.
Well, that's the thing, but it won't make any sense.
I know.
But what you have to do is you'd have to make the Professor X face in the photo.
Ah,
you have to,
and have they already done the photos at the start of the year?
Exactly. You would have to
And that's
talk to the
rough.
photographer and be like, because then also yearbook photographers are not known for being.
They're quick. They're like,
Get it through, barrel it through. So
Yep.
you have to be like, stop, wait a second, here's some money. I'm going to make this face.
yep,
Just let me do this. And then it's going to make sense.
exactly.
You don't even have to explain it really. You have to just be like, I got to make this face.
Yeah.
It's really important.
You were at my one of my university graduations where I had to get that one photo
Oh, that's right.
because a friend of mine who you also know,
Yes.
he got a photo where he's holding Paul. He's on my Instagram.
Oh,
people
yeah.
know him.
Yeah, you're right.
So I can name him if people know him. I was like, I
can
won't
name
name
him
him, but
and
no,
shame
people
him,
know
yes.
him. Where he's holding the thing, and he's whatever it is, the thing that they hold. What's it called? The certificate. The
Yes.
thing that you get.
The
when you-
scroll. The mystical scroll.
And he's looking over his shoulder, kind of like
The
this
bloody, if it's an hard cigarettes, the bloody toilet roll, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's what they say.
And he's doing a bloody glance over the shoulder and doing a smile.
Yeah.
And he got that done, like the guy made him do it. And then it looks ridiculous. So all of my friends ended up doing that in theirs. When I went up, I was like, I don't want any of this, but I just want this one photo.
Yeah, right.
And he very reluctantly was like, Jesus, all right, fine. And I'm like, I'm not paying for any of this
Yeah.
except this one. So we're doing it. Anyway, what was I even talking about? This is
Yearbook
not-
quotes.
Yeah. Should I post that photo? It's
Yeah,
awful.
absolutely.
Yeah, I will.
I reckon. I mean, if there's something that you say, if you have a catchphrase, I reckon
Me?
put that in. No, not you.
Yabba dabba doo.
No, I think if our delightful listener has a quote that
Yeah.
they know.
Do you have a thing that you say, like outside of this show? Are people like, that's so meso. That's so meso.
That's what I say. You clearly know my catchphrase.
That's so
I'll just
meso.
say something bad.
Yeah.
And as people are going, oh, I'll go, that's so meso.
You totally could.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe that could be his quote. That's so meso.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yep, please.
Yeah.
Or I quote know what to do.
I quite know what
It's
to
hard
do.
to say if
It
you're not
is.
reading it.
That's right. This is from Owen Hall, #Weekly Planet Pod. If you guys had a far higher budget for the show, what would you change, or would you change anything? What I would like to do, I thought about this.
Yes.
And I know we've talked about filming it and whatever, and we'll probably do that at some point, but I would like to have more time to do more research into topics.
Yes.
Like I do research a lot, and I try to research in a way that I'm then not just reading facts. Like what I try to do,
Yeah,
I
right,
absorb all this like behind the scenes stuff, and I read a bunch of trivia, and then if we're talking, I'll
It's in
try
there
and bring
in
it
your head,
up,
it's ready to come
which
out,
means
yeah.
I often miss things because if it doesn't come up organically. But if there's something I really want to nail,
Yeah.
I will write it down.
Well, that's what I've been trying
Yeah.
to do when we do the Caravan of Garbage.
Yes.
Because usually what happens is if we're talking about a movie or a
Mm.
TV episode or something like that, in the past I've just watched it and then I've hoped that I
That it
remember
comes
enough
together,
things,
yeah.
and then afterwards I'm like, oh, I remember
I
when that
should've
happened.
said,
I should.
yeah.
So now I've been writing stuff down, and
Yes.
if it doesn't eventuate in the conversation, I just say it at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think people are loving that though.
Okay, that's good.
I feel, yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It's because oftentimes we'll watch a video essay or something like that, and it's there's a lot of research and a lot of like fully written jokes
Sure.
kind of thing necessarily. But
We don't really write the jokes.
well, I don't write anything. But
Yeah, sure.
but
Yeah.
but that's the thing, and it's also a fine line of like, am I just a guy reciting
Exactly, yeah.
a dad joke I've written
Yeah.
kind of thing? So,
And I've definitely like been guilty of like just writing down facts in the past but which I don't think is as interesting as
Yep.
as it coming up organically.
Yeah.
So for me it would be, again, I try to research a lot.
Yeah.
But also, again, I try not to make it look like that I have researched a lot at
Yeah,
the same
right,
time.
right.
So it's not just a list of things. But
And a lot of people also will, like on Patreon, if they're suggesting a topic that we could do on Caravan of Garbage or something like that, oftentimes it's like, you should watch this series.
Yeah.
And we would like to.
Yes.
Like it sounds like a series that, as you watch it, the ridiculousness builds up kind of thing. But unless we've already watched that in our regular lives, like if somebody was like Buffy, you should talk about Buffy. I could because I watched every episode of Buffy,
but I have not.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and so.
But that being said, I think that can also be interesting. Where, okay, for example, when we did the Sarah Connor Chronicles,
Yes.
I watched that whole 2 seasons, and you'd seen some of.
Yeah, right.
But I think that gave it an interesting dynamic because you come at it from a person who's watching who hasn't seen it, and then I can kind of fill in that. Stuff.
Uh-huh.
So you get those different perspectives.
Yes.
So we should do Buffy, is what I'm saying, and then I don't,
okay,
I don't have to watch it.
You can watch the first episode and the last episode.
And the telly movie with Luke Perry, who's maybe in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that was a cinema release.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love movies. Remember cinemas and cinema releases?
Not really. I just remember Bloodshot.
Bloodshot.
Yeah. I just remember Bloodshot.
Got anything else?
Yeah. This is okay. This is a question. Mostly for you. I think you've answered this question before, but I just like the structure of the
Is it
email.
about traveling or being a dad? 'Cause I probably have in this episode.
No. This is from Matthew Chiara Valotti. Good name.
Great
Good
name.
name, Matthew. It says, we're in a movie trailer drought, so I'm wondering if after all this virus stuff, Mr. Sunday Movies will go back to breaking down trailers. Let me finish, James.
Sure.
I like him and I like his trailer breakdowns, but I know he hates them. Is the pandemic-induced break from trailer breakdowns a permanent liberation from him, or does he kind of miss doing them? And then afterwards he signed off, ho, 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 Santa, and there's a little Santa emoji. And that's suckered me right in, this question, honestly.
Because you're like, where is he? Where's this
Because
guy at?
I feel like maybe you've definitively answered this a couple of times.
Probably.
But then maybe your answer has changed, but also... Where is this sign off come from? Did you do it for Christmas and you've forgotten about it?
Yeah, right.
Because it's been 6 months and you should probably...
Did he put an email in and time it to release now? But then how would he have known of the virus? Well, he's Santa,
oh my
so
God.
maybe he's magic.
It's true, yeah.
Oh my God, there's a lot going on here.
It's a really, really good... Was he trying to trick us by... Perhaps he wanted to make it as if he was Santa and we'd be like, well, if we don't answer this question... Santa, who we definitively know is real, will think we're being naughty and will take us off his nice list and we won't get any prezzies this year.
I want my prezzies.
But then he hasn't changed his name in the header.
Yeah.
So we've seen through your trick.
Oh, there's a lot going on here.
A lot going on.
Anyway, I don't know if people actually want the answer. It's more it's a lot of intrigue behind that
It's
email.
the intrigue, isn't it,
Yeah,
right? There's a
that's
whole
right.
movie based around this. This is like that Safety Not Guaranteed movie, you know?
Exactly.
It's a little thing that spawned a whole... cool indie movie where at the end he is a time traveler.
Yeah, not to spoil it, but he is a time traveler, or he was vaporized.
He was maybe vaporized in a exploding big contraption.
I guess to answer that question, I do like them, except when you get to the third Black Widow trailer.
Right, yes.
And then you're like, what am I
You're
even
really
doing?
reaching because it's just like different angles of her in the white catsuit.
Exactly.
And you're like, what is this? This frame looks like the comics.
So I've stopped doing that.
Yeah, right.
And also, it's definitely diminishing returns because a million people do them now.
Yeah.
And I don't think my perspective is that unique unless I do something insane.
Yes.
And then people either love that or hate it. So no, I'm not sick of them.
Yes.
But I'm not, I wouldn't say, I haven't thought about there not being any either, to be honest.
Right.
So, no, like when the Eternals trailer eventually drops, I'd be really interested in kind of talking about that and the Batman. So there are ones, but I'm not interested when the New Mutants comes back to cinemas and they release another trailer. Like I'm not going to look at that. When James Bond comes back, there's a James, like I used to do, I did the Spectre trailers, but now I wouldn't do the trailers because I just don't think that's that interesting anymore. It's the same with like Easter egg videos because again, there's a million people doing them and there's a million people who now do them much more seriously than me.
Santa egg videos.
I could do Santa egg, yeah. I could. I think a lot of time
I should have said Christmas egg videos.
But
Santa egg.
Santa
lays eggs.
Santa lays eggs because he's a monster. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think a lot of the time with Easter egg videos and trailer breakdowns, a lot often people just want a list of things that are happening now.
Yeah.
And I sort of do that, but mine are...
The passion's gone for just listing things.
Yeah, probably, yeah. But
I've said this to you in private.
Yeah.
But if we want a video that is 10 million views, you just get a thing and you just list all. You go like we did when we talked about it chapter 2, we talked about Tim Curry.
Yeah.
And we scrolled through his IMDb page.
Yeah.
If we just were like Tim Curry and then it's just a clip of him in every role he's been in.
Yep.
The name of the movie, the rule,
Totally.
the role, 10 million views.
yes, absolutely.
Royalty-free backing track behind it.
We'd make $1 million.
That sounds like work.
Yeah, it's not fun.
No.
It's not fun, is it? So anyway,
We could do funny voices, couldn't we?
people don't want that.
We could not see the movies that he's in, and we could just be like, we could assume what his character's, like what his character says. Ooh.
My name's Johnny Rotten Rocky Picture Show. I haven't seen it.
I'm having a real Rocky Picture Show right now.
Oh, those are my favorite comments. And it's always like, I can't believe you didn't mention. And then it's like a thing that's really obvious. And oftentimes, though, it's something that I'm like, I nearly mentioned it, but I didn't because I didn't think anybody would care. Right. But I guess this one guy cares deeply about this thing.
And good on him for giving it a watch and a like and a thumbs up.
Well, that's true. And I also love comments, people telling me why Mace Windu is the only one who can crush Grievous, which I got like 5 comments on that today.
Did you really?
Yeah.
And again, you have the app now that tells when everybody gets in touch and leaves a comment.
I should delete it because I'm getting sassier. So I got to.
I've noticed.
Because it's also, I've also got a lot of comments that are like, actually, you remember last week, right? How we talked about Boba Fett and he has the mustache?
James, I remember 2 things.
This episode's too long.
When I was a child and right now. And I don't remember anything else in between.
Sure. But because we mentioned that Boba Fett with the mask off, he's got a little mustache.
And it could be Inspector Rex.
It could be Inspector Rex, yes. But it turns out it's a different actor. And Collings, who edited that video, was kind enough to point that out to me.
I see.
And said, people are going to mention this.
Yes.
I said, don't worry, I'll mention it in the intro. Yeah. So then people will be like, well, they mentioned the intro so when they make the mistakes. But I still be getting comments like, well, actually, did you know the actors it was actually a different actor. It's not the same. And then they name the thing that I said at the start of the video. So I've just been commenting, yes, I said that at the start of the video.
Yeah, right.
Yes, the thing that you said, I also said.
So you've had a little bonding moment.
A little bit,
cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And to be fair, some people are like, oh yeah, sorry. And
yeah.
But some people are just like, fuck you.
But here's the thing. What if you miss some of those comments, James? You can't delete the app.
No, I really can't.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the show. I got to stop doing this.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening.
Yeah.
I hope everybody's doing all right out there. I hope everybody's not going too insane.
Yeah, me too.
Or not insane at all. That would be good also. I like
great.
that idea. Yeah,
Don't go insane.
I hope everybody's out there being responsible and washing their dang hands
and their cars,
etc. Yeah, washing their hands and their cars. Exactly.
Yep.
But I hope you're enjoying a little bit extra safe freedom if you can, which is also nice.
Totally.
But also, more importantly,
than anything,
if you want to get in contact with us,
which you do,
Weekly Planet Pod at Facebook, Gmail, Twitter, and Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for liking and subscribing. And
shooting through a review.
Shooting through a review if you have one there, James.
I do have a couple here. This is from Quispy Man.
Ooh.
Excellent pod. 5 stars. 5 stars always helps. You can do this in-app. It really helps. As a fluent speaker of American, I don't always understand their Australian gobbledygook language, but laughter is universal and there seems to be plenty of that going around here. And I like this one from 541 Red. 5 stars, and the subject line is "Bring back Creed's incredulous Aussie coach."
Oh, I remember that
which
guy.
is a character that you did at one point.
Character is always very generous.
It's true. It's a thing that you shouted for a little bit that some people remember.
Look, if anybody needs any advice next week, email in, and I'll see if I can provide that advice.
Resurrect the character
as Creed's incredulous boxing trainer. I'll see what I can do.
You bless us. We are truly blessed.
Thank you. Contact with us. I mentioned that thing earlier. It's good. I'm at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter, but on Instagram, I'm Nick Maso, NickMaseau. James, you are Mr. Sunday Movies everywhere.
All platforms all the time.
If you'd like to go to planetbroadcasting.com, you can sign up to the newsletter, and you can also look at all the other shows on the Planet Broadcasting Network. The newsletters from the great Rob Collings.
How's he do it?
It's amazing. That's how he does it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's lucky.
That's right.
It's not just luck, though. It's hard work.
It's hard work, yeah.
It's not enough to execute by
lucky
luck.
Hard work. You know?
That's what I've found in life. A lot of people, if you're smart, counts for fuck all.
Right. Yeah.
Like smart and lucky is not enough.
That's true.
It plays a big part, but you actually got to commit to something, even if you're bad at it.
That's true.
And you'll have some degree of success.
Just chip away in your mediocrity, and you'll get there.
Yeah, maybe.
That's what the guy, the boxing coach, is going to say next week.
That's what he's going to say to you guys.
You're bad at this, but just keep chipping away.
Oh my God, Mason, I love this character.
Anyway, the great Rob Collings, he's on there.
Yeah, he is.
This has fallen off the rails. If you'd like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Moves if you would like to chuck in a buck. We would certainly appreciate that. You can also go to the Amazon affiliate link in the episode description. If you're buying some stuff for your home, can't leave your house, you want to do it through Amazon, do it through our link. We would definitely appreciate that too.
Yeah, because you can make Jeff Bezos more of a billionaire.
James, You've gotten political.
Have I?
Yeah, you promised you wouldn't get
Man.
political.
No,
Or maybe
did I
you
say
didn't
that?
promise. No, I don't think you promised it.
Well, I promise I'll never get political again.
He's
His
gonna-
name is saying that somebody's a trillionaire.
Yeah, that's too much.
Is that
It's too much.
that being political?
It's too much money, I think. That's being
Oh, it
political.
was just yeah. But he worked hard for it.
That's what some people say. Anyway, but just for pandemic purposes, if you can't leave your house,
Yeah.
maybe go through Amazon.
Cool.
Anyway, or go through. You know what? Go through your local grocer. That's also good.
Just go through them, run right through them.
Just run through them in a car and steal what you like. Pay for what you need, but steal what you can. Anyway.
Yeah.
Uh, Yes, exactly. We've got some t-shirts on tpublic.com. Just search for the Weekly Planet. Get a big old t-shirt. Maybe get some sort of hoodie for being inside.
Oh,
Maybe get
hoodie.
some tracky dacks.
Oh, a tracky
with our
dacks.
logos on them somehow.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
a
that's
thing
cool.
we offer? I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
We don't know. Maybe make your own.
I don't know nothing.
Thank you, the Root and the Basilisk and Raka for all our musical themes. Oh.
Next week?
Back for more
Or
of this.
probably new stuff. Or
Yep.
we won't be back at all next week.
Because you're having a mental breakdown.
I don't know.
You're going to tease this out every week?
Yes.
Cool.
Pretty much, yeah, because it's really going to be week
Week
to
to
week.
week, I guess
'Cause
that makes sense, yeah.
things happen with babies without elaborating this week.
Yeah.
Something nearly very horrible happened this week.
Yeah.
But everything's fine. I'm
But
not gonna
then I
elaborate
could
on it.
make it to the show. So everything worked out all right. You know what I mean? Everything's cool.
You're always doing a light spin, Mason. That's
That's
what I
right.
love about it. And
yes.
you never get political.
It's very true. And also, the Caravan of Garbage has come out
Yeah,
on
they're
the
still
audio
happening.
feed, so they're coming out as scheduled. So that's very
That's
good.
right. Which Bond are we doing this week?
3, I think.
Yeah.
Bond 3.
Bond 3. I'm still editing because I'm editing the video game portions.
Yeah, right.
I regret that. Say that much. Why don't
I don't know why you do anything.
Yeah, I've only got one left to edit. I've only got
okay.
Die Another Day to go.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grab that
That's it.
gem, you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah,
We will see you next week.
Goodbye.
Or a different week, next week.
Yeah, next week, another week.
Hopes
And there's
things are
videos. The videos are still
Yeah.
happening at the moment.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Maybe I'll go Facebook Live. I won't do that.
Go Facebook Live, Mason. Okay, fine. How do I play the outro thing? There's an outro sting to this, and I closed the thing it was in. Now I gotta find it.
Dun. Red hot
No,
comic book.
that's the song. I'm talking about the this
Oh,
podcast
yeah, right,
is
right,
part of your breakfast, essential breakfast.
That's right. This podcast is part of your breakfast, essential breakfast.
That'll do. That's going to be it for this
Bye,
week.
everyone.
Bye. This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
I mean, if you want. It's up to you.